Did I say you could stop? Put your back into it.
Look at the weeds. Vicky, she's getting flour everywhere. I want to make something too.
Of course you do. Here, I'll help you.
Don't want any help.
Fair. Only fair. Now, 2.5 hours at 5p an hour. That's, say, 1 shilling and twopence for you, and 1 shilling for you. Not much, is it?
No, sir.
Well, it's the exact wage a working man would get for the amount you've done. And your father, in his wisdom, wants you to learn just how hard it is for folks to earn enough to feed and keep themselves.
That's what he says. But he doesn't really help us to understand.
Why not?
Well, you see, it's only pocket money for us. We don't have to live on it.
Wanted this war with Russia.
But as soon as British troops were sent to the Crimea, we have supported them with every means in our power.
And yet Albert is accused in the press of being pro-Russian.
There are some people, Your Majesty, who cannot forget that your husband is a foreigner. They know that I also am German, and therefore your two principal advisors are suspect.
Every sensible person knows that Albert is more English than the English.
We are not here dealing with sensible persons, ma'am. It is entirely emotional.
Exactly.
It is all Palmerston's fault. If he had not insisted on us supporting the French... Well, in any case, the Prime Minister assures me it will be over by Christmas.
That is merely his hope. The Earl of Aberdeen is a good man, but not suitable as leader of a war cabinet. But to return to our other matters, the weekly report from the Prince's tutors. The Prince is still behind his younger brother.
And always will be, I'm afraid.
Oh, if only Vicky had been a boy.
She's so quick, she understands everything. Bertie often forgets what he's just learned.
Yet he is not backward. When he is interested in a subject, he devours it.
I often wonder if we don't push him too hard. He looks so tired sometimes.
How can he be tired? We have built this house on the Isle of Wight so that our family can have the benefit of sea air and privacy, ideal conditions.
Mr. Gibbs is very strict.
It is for his own good.
The heir to the throne must be as perfect in mind and body as human science can make him.
He has been very disappointing.
I have spoken to Gibbs on that subject. He agrees with me that the Prince might take more interest in his studies if he was aware of the need to prepare for his high position. He has not yet realized what it means to be the eldest son.
I think Gibbs should speak to him.
When he judges the time is right.
That can be a great shock. I remember how it was when I was told.
The Third Punic War. The dates of the Third Punic War.
BC?
Of course it is BC. Prince Alfred.
149 to 146 BC.
And who was the victor?
Hannibal?
Not unless he deserted and joined the Romans. It is not a matter for levity. The Battle of Austerlitz.
2nd of December, 1805.
Waterloo.
June the 18th, 1815.
Why is it that you cannot remember anything that you've read of ancient history while you know the dates and numbers of the campaigns of this century?
Because they're real.
You do not believe that the history I teach you is true?
Oh, yes, sir. But the history of today is more important.
Why?
You see, when I'm old enough, I want to join the army.
I'm going into the Navy.
Indeed. May I remind you, gentlemen, that there are minimum standards of education required for officers in the services, which you are both still far short of attaining. Prince Alfred, you may dismiss. You will stay here.
But we're expected for tea, Mr. Gibbs.
Then you will inform your parents that I have detained your brother for reasons best known to them.
I'll wait for you.
Your continued lack of application cannot fail to distress your parents. Great care and attention has been lavished on your mental development, to no avail. The tables of the kings of England, to prove that you are capable of some concentration, you will recite and memorize them. Start with the Tudors.
Richard III.
Plantagenet. He was succeeded by the first Tudor, who was...
Henry VII.
He had two sons. Arthur, the elder, died, so he was succeeded by...
Henry VIII.
Who had three children. Mary, the eldest, by Catherine of Aragon, Elizabeth by Anne Boleyn, and the youngest, Edward, by Jane Seymour. Who succeeded Henry?
Edward VI.
Then?
Queen Mary.
And?
Elizabeth.
And after Elizabeth?
James...
Yes? What is it?
Why did Edward come before Mary and Elizabeth? Surely that's wrong.
No. He was the eldest son.
But his sisters were older.
That makes no difference. It is the eldest son who becomes king.
Try the cake, try the cake.
What?
Try the cake.
Oh, very well. Where shall I begin? Vicky. Perfection, Vicky, as always. Who made those? Alice?
Yes, try mine, try mine.
What? Did you bake a cake, Louise?
That one.
That one? Well. Now.
What's it like?
Well, I think I can safely say I've never tasted anything like it.
More, take some more.
Let's have some tea. I think I need it.
Bertie and Effie aren't here.
Well, if they are late and can go without.
Effie!
I'm sorry I'm late, Mama.
Never mind. Come and join us. Where's Bertie?
He was kept in.
Oh, why?
Mr. Gibbs wanted to talk to him.
Where is he now?
In the kitchen. He doesn't want to come in.
What?
No, Albert. Perhaps I'd better see him first.
Well, it seems that we are going to have to wait after all. Shall we take game?
Oh, yes,
What shall we take?
Bertie? Bertie? Is it true? I'm going to be king?
Yes. One day, you will be king. Not for some time yet, but one day.
I thought Vicky would be queen. Like you.
No, dear. I became queen because I had no brothers.
Why not Effie? He could do it. Or Arthur.
It is your right, Bertie. You are the heir.
But I don't want to. I don't want to be...
Oh, my dear. It is not what we want, but what we must. What is our duty.
Why can't Father be king?
I only wish he could. But always remember, if anything happens to me, he will be here to guide and protect you. That is why you must work hard to make yourself worthy of him.
I can't. I can't.
Yes, you can, if you try. You are his son. Now, dry your eyes and let him see Let us all see how brave you can be.
So the shoemaker's daughter jumped onto the horse, but as soon as she was on the horse, she realized it was a magic horse. Because it had wings, and it flew above the village and above the castle, right up into the mountains, and there we... Ah, well, now that you're ready, perhaps we may have some tea.
Yes, Papa.
Married to the Princess Royal. You'll excuse my bluntness, ma'am. She's only 14.
Oh, it will not be for some time, Prime Minister, but it must be arranged.
We will not force her to marry until she is willing and of age.
Again, you'll excuse me, ma'am, but are you sure the Prince of Prussia is the right man for her?
He's a very amiable and serious young man.
But when His Royal Highness suggested that Prussian mercenaries might assist us in the Crimea, there was a public outcry. People said, why not Red Indians or Eskimos?
Yes, Lord Aberdeen. But if Vicky is married to the Crown Prince, that will ensure German neutrality and will provide us with a valuable ally.
Prussia ranks only 5th in Europe.
But she is increasing her military power and will soon be a force to reckon with. I should like the leader of the German states to be linked with us by marriage. I will go further. I have a dream. If the rest of my family choose wisely, of the whole of Europe, united by the family ties of their rulers.
A family of nations.
You're a man of peace, also. Surely you can see it.
It is a noble plan, sir.
It seems so strange to talk of peace with our armies still fighting outside Sebastopol.
These reports of hardship and terrible conditions among the men.
When I saw the wounded returning from Balaclava, I was so moved I couldn't speak. I thank God daily for Miss Nightingale and her nurses.
So do we all. So do we all.
If there is one woman I envy, it is her. I feel very badly, Lord Aberdeen, at taking you away from your duties.
It is a relief to me, ma'am, to get away from London. To come to Osborne reminds me of happier days. I had hoped to see the Prince of Wales.
Oh, Bertie is working.
Not too hard, I hope. The last time I saw him, he looked nearly worn out.
I often think so, too.
Oh, yes, he's very good at that. It's part of his cunning. The more work he's given, the slower he becomes.
Have you never thought of sending him to school somewhere?
Prince Albert believes he should be kept apart, protected from the world.
Here, you see, he can be subjected to a rigorous system under strict discipline from 8 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
And what does he study?
Oh, the usual subjects. English, Latin, French, German, history, geography. And also mathematics, social economy, and chemistry. Not forgetting music and drawing, drill and gymnastics. And useful work at carpentry, bricklaying, and gardening. It will all help to make him the complete man.
A rhomboid, a rhomboid. Describe a rhomboid.
I can't remember, sir.
So you can't remember. How very convenient. Well, we must stimulate you. Ow!
Is there news from London?
The Foreign Secretary has resigned.
And the Earl of Aberdeen?
He is blamed for conditions in the camps and hospitals. He has said himself he is not fit to lead the country.
If he goes, who will be Prime Minister?
The people are crying out for Palmerston.
Never. He would bring the rest of the world into the war.
You know what they're saying in Germany? If the devil had a son, it would be Lord Palmerston.
His answer to every foreign problem is to send in gunboats and sabres.
That may be what is needed. But he is old. He may not feel able to accept the post.
What is it the dreadful Disraeli says? That Palmerston at his best is only ginger beer, never champagne. Well, Aberdeen may not have to go.
There is one thing. This moment of political change may be the time to take the Prince of Wales more into your confidence.
But he's so young.
Stockmar's right. He must be accustomed gradually to work with us.
After all, prime ministers and governments come and go, but the crown is a perpetual minister. a balanced, scientifically educated Prince of Wales will help to ease the burden.
This is not what I expected, Mr. Gibbs.
How can he ever take his place if this continues?
His French tutor suggested that this nervousness might be a sign of exhaustion.
The son of defiance. He's incurably lazy and self-willed.
The same system of education was applied to His Royal Highness in his youth.
Yes, but
Yes.
you at least saw other children, sir.
What difference does that make?
You knew something of companionship.
I was not born to his position. Children are undiscriminating. Companionship now would lead to friendships which could only embarrass him in later life.
I think I see what Mr. Gibbs means. Bertie sees only his brothers and sisters whom he dominates easily. Meeting other boys would show him how far behind he is and awaken a healthy desire to improve.
Exactly. I thought that the next time we moved to Windsor, sir, I might have a word with the Provost of Eton.
I shall consider it, but in the meantime, stronger discipline must be used.
His nervous energy must be used up in physical exercise. Not a minute of his day is to be left unoccupied.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Left, out. Turn, set, 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right, gentlemen. Halt, check, 1, 2. Left, turn, 1, 2, 3, 1. Order, up, 1, 2, 3, 1. Shoulder, wait for it, gentlemen. Chest up, stomach in, chin in. Shoulder, up, 1, 2, 3, 1. Right, turn, 1, 2, 3, 1. Gentlemen, quick, march. Left, right, about. Turn, check, 1, 2, 3.
Lord Palmerston.
Your Majesty, I am deeply conscious of the honour you've done me in asking me to form a government.
I only hope the strain may not prove too great.
I believe I have a fair chance of success. And even at my age, a few years of service left in me.
You take office at a difficult time, Lord Palmerston.
And then it is all the more important that the war should be brought to a quick and effective conclusion.
What do you propose?
The Russians sit inside Sebastopol, ma'am, which is nearly impregnable. Our army and the French are outside, bogged down by appalling weather and intolerable conditions.
Which little has been done to improve. I've written to the government several times.
And I've read most of your memoranda, sir, and with many of them I agree. But the total reform of the army is impractical. But other suggestions should be adopted at once. The establishment of a depot at Malta, a training camp at Aldershot, new means of organization and supply, and some of the generals must be replaced.
Many people will object. The generals will oppose you.
But they will not win, ma'am.
I think perhaps we should leave them, sir. They're not at ease with you here.
You realize Bertie has no experience of other boys, how to behave with them.
It will work out, sir.
We shall leave you, gentlemen. You have half an hour.
What's your name?
Carrington. Charles Carrington.
I shall call you Charles.
I'm Alfred. Effie.
I'm Bertie, but you must call me Sir, I suppose.
Do you live here, at Windsor, sir?
Some of the time. We have other places.
Well, do you go to school, sir?
No, we have tutors.
What do you study?
Everything.
Well, do they let you play games?
Oh, yes.
We have drill, gardening, and bricklaying.
Bricklaying.
Why not?
And we have riding and racing.
Can you run?
Bertie can beat anyone.
I'll show you if you don't believe me.
Go on, Charlie. All right.
I'll race to that tree over there.
Can't
didn't you race me?
Well, you didn't tell him you were starting.
That was cheating.
No wonder you always win if you race like that.
I wasn't cheating. You take that back. Take it back!
Hey!
How dare you? How dare you? You've pushed him.
I didn't mean to.
Get out. Get out of this park.
Willingly, sir.
Poor Bertie.
My dear Mamma has only shown once again that he cannot be trusted.
How can we possibly take him to Paris?
Palmerston insists.
Oh, Palmerston.
The war is in the balance. Relations with your allies have deteriorated. You must show your trust and regard for the French Emperor.
To take Vicky is one thing, but Bertie, they don't know what they are asking.
You are pleased with the reception?
We are overwhelmed.
It is as your great Palmerston said, my sir. Our peoples have only to see us together to realize they have nothing to fear from each other. And I have always had the greatest admiration for you. Many years ago, when I was an unknown exile in England, you had the riots.
The Chartists.
You do not know this, but I became a special constable to protect you.
You?
And I have supported you ever since. I am so glad we are friends now.
Yes.
I am full of respect for your husband. And Eugenie and I simply adore little Bertie. He is so charming and so intelligent.
Bertie?
Oh, yes. He asks me about my uncle, the great Napoleon's campaigns, and corrects me when I am wrong.
You mustn't let him bore you.
He couldn't. He has such perfect manners. And yet he is so shy. I do not think you take him out in company much.
Not frequently.
You should. Eugenie and I would not let him out of our sight. At the hunt tomorrow, we wondered if he might drive in our carriage with us.
Did you enjoy the hunt, Bertie?
Oh, yes. I've never enjoyed anything so much. I'll never forget it. I wish I could stay only a few days longer.
Well, your parents will probably want you at home with them.
They don't want me. There's so many of us.
But they would miss you, no?
Not really. I wish I was your son.
We all know it, Prince Alfred. But although Sevastopol may have fallen, your studies will continue.
We're on holiday, Mr. Gibbs.
But we shall not turn pleasure into idleness. We shall take the opportunity while we're here at Balmoral of studying botany on our walks.
But they're waiting for us at the picnic.
We may not return before your sister and the Prince of Prussia.
Why not?
They may have something to discuss with your parents. Come along.
My dear.
Es freut mich sehr, Fritz. Herzlichen Dank.
I suppose I may kiss you now?
Of course, you realize that Vicky cannot marry for at least 2 years, possibly more.
Naturally. I would not have spoken now, but I found Vicky so allerliebst. I could not wait to know I might belong to your family.
Are you happy? Run and tell your sisters and bring them back.
Come, Fritz.
Albert.
You asked them, but are you happy?
It seems so strange, our little girl. Everything is happening as you planned. If only we could make something of Bertie.
I've had an idea. The only thing that interests him is the army. I shall tell him that if he works hard for the next 2 years, we shall allow him to take an entrance examination. But for it to work, he must be kept completely apart from his brothers and sisters. There must be no distractions.
He will be very upset. He's very attached to them.
It is unfortunate, but it is his last chance to make something of himself.
Mama, Papa.
Ah, Elfie, come here. Your mother and I have something very important to tell you. Come along. A whole fell insensate part of the mighty opposition. You see, we nearly crashed. I will tell you. I think that is the only mother, happiest mother in all Europe.
Must vanish, fade and die, fade and die.
Beautiful, Vicky. You have a perfect understanding.
Quite perfect.
Shall I sing something else, Mama?
Please, no. That was lovely, but I have a slight headache.
Are you not feeling well?
Do not rush to have children. Fritz may be kind, as Papa is the most considerate of men, but no man knows what we go through.
I don't think we need to trouble Vicky with such problems.
She is nearly 17 and will be married in a few months.
And we may leave those subjects until then.
Can I do anything for you, Mama?
No one can do anything for me. I have learnt to bear everything in silence. And it is always at times like these that I seem to have more problems than ever.
Such as?
This marriage, it causes so much trouble.
But how?
Take one example. Your father, where will he stand? As a mere prince, he will rank beneath all those Prussian kings and grand dukes, not to mention Bertie as Prince of Wales.
Bertie?
You may laugh, but he ranks above his own father. It's unthinkable.
I shall stand by my daughter and with my wife.
Unless the King of Hanover pushes you aside, as he did at Augusta's wedding.
No.
And to cap it all, Lord Palmerston insists on a general election.
Well, I sympathize with you. We all do. But you really must try not to agitate yourself. Vic, it's time for a talk.
Yes, Papa.
What's the matter, Liebchen?
Every evening you take Vicky away. You spend more time with her than with me.
Oh, that's most unfair. You know she must be carefully prepared for her new position.
And I am left with no one, not even Bertie.
Well, what would you talk to him about?
He may not be clever, but at least he's affectionate. I might just as well not have had him shut up at Osborne with his eternal lessons.
May I remind you that you have 4 hours for this examination? 3 of them have passed, and you do not appear to have written very much.
I cannot believe it. Is this the result of 2 years of intensive study?
I will not say again how disappointed we are.
Everything that I have done, every effort of Baron Stockmars has been on your behalf, and you have made no attempt to repay the care that has been lavished on you.
I have tried. I've worked hard, I promise. It's just that when I come to write it down, when I think how much depends on it, I can't remember anything.
He can absorb well enough when he wants to. He has a fatal lack of concentration.
Es spalten sich die Berge und geboren wird bloß ne Maus. The mountain labored and brought forth a molehill. Well, run along, I've no more time for you. There's so much, Stockmar, so much to do without this.
I think I have seen what the boy is up to. He complains of tiredness.
Weiß es immer nicht. He doesn't know what it means.
Oh, quite so. He does just enough work to avoid punishment. He knows that in a few years he will be of age and out of our control.
Perhaps.
We must not give up. The experiment will fail unless he is dealt with ruthlessly now. The system of education was drawn up by some of the great minds of the age. and cannot be destroyed by a mere child.
I shall deal with him, but not now.
What is wrong, my prince?
I feel like an old man, Stockmar, an old man who has nearly everything and realizes he may soon have nothing.
You are unhappy.
You're the only person in the world I could tell. With Victoria, it is becoming as it was years ago. Suspicion, jealousy.
Jealousy?
Of her own daughter, of my affection for her. She's leaving us. How can I pretend I shall be happy when she is gone, when the richest part of my life will be over?
What are you whispering about?
We are not whispering.
Papa said I should always look out for the bishops. You never know what they are up to.
I don't find that amusing. And I will not have conversations I am not allowed to hear.
We speak no treason, Ma'am.
What?
That's a quotation, Mamma, from Shakespeare.
And I suppose you think that's clever?
We are passing the evening pleasantly.
And excluding me.
No, no, leave him.
It was a mistake to wait 3 years for this wedding. We should never have agreed to it at the time.
Fritz, what?
Fritz? What is Fritz? You should have married him and been done with it.
What can you say that?
The longer we wait, the more arrogant these Prussians become. Who do they think they are? After all, it's not every day that one marries the eldest daughter of the Queen of England.
You cannot blame Fritz.
Why not? He is only marrying her because she is my daughter.
Mamma!
You should have known.
Vicky!
I don't care so much what you say to me, but how could you speak like that to her?
Because I'm tired of her airs and graces. And I'm tired of her always being here.
She's your daughter.
Then she should remember it sometimes. She forgets her place.
At least try to be logical.
Logical? And what about my feelings? They don't matter anymore. I'm shut out, excluded.
If you feel neglected, there are the other children.
What comfort are they?
They should be your dearest companions.
You should be. But you're always working, or tired, or with Vicky. Any excuse to leave me.
I see. So we're back to this.
It is true.
I should have known your promises meant nothing. You have not changed, and now it is worse. Once it is only me. Now you hurt the children with your malice. That is unforgivable.
It is they who hurt me.
You cannot wait to drive Vicky away from us. You think of no one but yourself.
You will pardon this intrusion, but there is news you should hear.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Palmerston has had a total victory and been returned with an increased majority.
I thank God.
For Palmerston?
He has my complete confidence.
Her Majesty feels she could not do without him at the moment.
So, our opinions change. There is another matter on which I have thought long and deeply.
Yes?
For over 20 years, I have been your personal secretary, advisor, and, may I say, friend. I have grown old in your service, gladly, but now it is time for me to go.
Stockmar.
No.
From now on, I shall make my home in Coburg.
But why?
I have worked as long as I had strength to work for a purpose which is largely achieved. In Germany, I may still be of service to your daughter and her husband. They will need much support.
But you can't just leave.
With great respect, ma'am, the final lesson that you both need to learn is that no one is indispensable.
Can we stop him?
No.
How can we do without him? We shall need each other more than ever.
I trust Your Majesty has recovered.
Sufficiently well. The birth was less painful than usual. Dr. Snow gave me chloroform.
The Church disapproves of it, I believe.
The Church is run by men. But now that Baron Stockmar has gone, I need someone beside me with full powers to ease the burden.
His Royal Highness.
Who else?
Who else, indeed? He is already an unofficial member of every government. No one is of more value to the country.
You're kind, Lord Palmerston.
You do not object?
On the contrary, ma'am.
But every suggestion I have made until now has been opposed.
Perhaps because Your Majesty wanted your husband to be made king or king consort. And now if it were to be prince consort.
It must be awful to have to meet so many strangers. All of them saying, aha, so this is who's going to marry our princess.
I am petrified. You know, here now alone with you is the first time I have been able to relax since I came to England.
Oh, what's this? Alone? Well, this is dreadful.
Not quite alone, Mamma. I'm still with them.
This will never do. Vicky, how could you have been so indiscreet?
We were only talking, Mamma.
It is I who am the guilty, Mamma. I have not been able to see Vicky for more than 10 minutes since I arrived.
We've hardly seen each other.
We must have a chance to get to know each other a little.
Please, Mamma.
Well, of course you must. That is very natural and proper. But I'm afraid I cannot allow you any time just now. I'm far too busy to sit with you.
I'm still here. I'll stay with them. Surely there's nothing wrong if Vicky's with both of us.
Please, Mamma. Bertie can sit between us.
That will not be necessary, so long as he remains in the room. But this is an exception. You will not stay long. You will not hold hands. And you will leave the door to the corridor open. Very well.
Thank you, Mamma.
I shall expect to see you in a quarter of an hour.
What did she think we were doing? Oh, I envy you. Going away to Germany, away from timetables and chaperones.
No, I must tell you, the Prussian court is just as strict, just as formal as Windsor. Perhaps even more so. But I promise you will be happy there.
There's only one place to be. The court in Paris. If only we could all live as freely as that.
I regret France is not a subject I can discuss.
No. Promise you won't tell Mamma. Vicky always gives me away, but promise you won't this time. If I just slip outside for 5 minutes and accidentally shut the door.
Bert!
He has given me the first chance to tell you alone that I love you more dearly than my life. You have accepted me, perhaps because you must. I have to know if it would be possible, if you could feel.
Yes. Dear. Dear Fritz. Just as much.
No. We must not hold hands.
God be with you.
It's snowing. It will be a cold crossing. But the channel may be calm.
Yes, Papa.
It was good of Fritz to let you come this far with me.
He knew I wanted to be alone with you, at least as far as the ship.
This is not a subject about which I find it easy to talk, but I must know if you are really happy.
I can't bear the thought of leaving you and Mama and everything.
No, I meant your future life. Do you really love Fritz, or did the pressure of knowing what we wanted make it impossible for you to say no?
I think I love him. And the more I see him, the more sure I am.
I'm glad. I should not like to feel that I'd forced you. You're going to a strange court. There will be people who will try to take advantage of you for their own purposes.
Fritz has already told me, Papa. I shall behave as you would wish your daughter to.
Good.
I shall be lonely at first, but I shall be with Fritz.
Do not forget us. I'm not of a demonstrative nature, and therefore you can hardly know how dear you have been to me. You are the closest thing to a true companion I have ever had.
Oh.
Not in bed yet? Look, have you seen this? Just the way she held her head.
Yes.
It seems so odd, so empty, after all the parties and excitement. And Vicky gone. I don't think I ever felt so alone.
I'm with you. I'll always be with you.
Of course, dear.
I know I can never take Vicky's place, but I will try. I'll do everything I can to please Father and you, to make you proud of me.
I'm sure you will. There is much good in you. You do not have your father's mind, but you cannot help it. It is too much to ask. Try as you will, you can never be as great and as faultless as he is. Try, therefore, to be like him at least in some things, and you will have acquired a great deal. Albert! Oh, you're cold.
No.
Right
It's
through.
nothing.
Come to the
Hello,
fire. There. How was she?
Sad to go, but I could see she was excited. Some girls threw flowers, petals, on the pier she left. They were swirled away in the snow.
Glad I didn't come.
I believe she will be happy. She sent the fondest love to you and Bertie.
Bertie?
I thought about him on the way back, you know. He's now our eldest child, and whatever his failings, he should be treated as such.
Yes.
He must be given a certain measure of personal freedom and a share in our work.
He will not be joining us, as Vicky did. I have only been able to bear these last few months because I thought that at the end of them we would be together again alone.
Of course. Now, what I thought for Bertie was he should have some of his own out of the way, somewhere large enough for him and Gibbs and the chaplain, say, and a few equerries to protect him, men of the highest moral standard. I thought perhaps White Lodge in Richmond Park.
Oh, yes.
It's fairly isolated. A few months there with Gibbs and such men should help to mold his character.
Aren't you reading?
No.
Well, perhaps you would like to borrow this.
No, thank you.
I have just the thing here. A book of sermons by Dr. Arnold. Most interesting.
No, thank you.
We have already read them some years ago.
Then perhaps we could have a discussion on some of the points he mentions.
No, thank you.
What is it?
Gibbs. Gibbs has resigned.
Resigned?
He has given up. Of course it was inevitable. He has devoted years of his life to the vain attempt of turning Bertie into a scholar.
Bertie dislikes him so much.
You do not have to like your teachers.
I'm to blame. He has all my worst qualities. He is my caricature.
No, not the same. He does not even try to improve.
That is what worries me. What would happen if I were to die? Bertie's totally unfit to be king. What if he had the wrong advisers? His only hope would be to put himself entirely in your hands.
I could never do for him what I've done for you.
All our hopes. And Stockmar's. We can't all have been wrong.
There are still 3 years before he comes of age. He will use every minute of them.
Oh, it's good to see you, Effie. How is it?
Well, the other chaps ragged me a bit at first, but I like it.
Do they watch you all the time?
Not all the time. Last week they let me climb right up the mainmast and out along the yard. But you have to, really, to show you're not afraid.
Oh, I wish I could.
What about you?
I'm out of prison at last. No more White Lodge, no more Gibbs.
So what are you going to do?
Something. Something useful where I can show them what I can do. Often, I feel they think too little about me to love me.
I'm pleased that you have seen your brother. Now you may say goodbye.
Goodbye?
You will return at once to White Lodge. A new program of studies has been prepared for you. It is still possible that you may catch up sufficiently to be able to enter a university. At the same time, you will undergo an intensive process of mental and social polishing. We have appointed a governor to watch over you.
A governor?
Colonel Bruce, a distinguished officer of the Grenadier Guards. He will teach you what is expected from you in life. You will not bully or deceive him. If I cannot make you a scholar, I am determined to make you a Christian gentleman.
A gentleman does not sit in that position. Nor indeed does he lounge with his hands in his pockets. May I ask where you are going?
Out.
Might I remind you, sir, that you must first ask my permission. If I approve, I shall provide you with an escort in case you should meet undesirable company. Now, I suggest you would do better to continue with your studies.